So we're going to go through and show, demonstrate the rich text editor being applied to a page that you'll be working on as you go through this training, the Lacerte homepage. Previously, we'd gone through and shown you all the kind of the features and some of the basic functionality that's in there. We're going to show you a little bit more on a page that you'll be editing. So if I just wanted to make a change to the text itself, I could do, it's a little bit hard to do, but just a rapid double click on this, and that'll pull up. I can make an edit just directly to the text. I can see that because the orange box is right there. It takes a little bit to get used to, so I could do that and make that change. But I can't really change the formatting. Change the formatting, I've got to go into the rich text editor, so I'm going to pull that up. So what we want to do is make this an H4, and we're going to center align it. So we'll go through and apply that H4. And whenever you add a format change, it does tend to default back to left justified. So then we're going to want to make sure that we center align that. So we've made that change. That's pretty simple and that's pretty straightforward and just something that we wanted to do. We're also going to take a look at this Try It for Free CTA. So as you can see here, this is a CTA down here, but that doesn't really look like this. Also, just in general, we've mentioned this before, the rich text editor is not a WYSIWYG editor. So you can see these changes don't look like what you're going to see here. It's certainly not dynamic, and it's most definitely not WYSIWYG. So to make that change to that CTA, we've got to first get rid of the style that is there. So I'm going to place my cursor into the text string that's got the style applied, and I'm going to remove that style. Now I've got to go through and highlight the style, grab the style, drop down, and find that CTA styling that I want to make a change to. So we'll make that a secondary style, and just to see what that's going to look like. So we're going to preview that, and all you have to do to preview that is click OK. That's going to show up here. We can see that's made a couple of changes here to that. So let's go back and make some more changes. So we're going to want to change the, I just want to check some of these styles out. So I'm going to put my cursor in there in the Try It for Free, and for a style, again, I've got to get rid of it. Then I'm going to highlight it and assign a new style to it. So I'm going to try the tertiary style and see what that looks like. Again, this isn't dynamic. If I click OK, it'll show me what's there. So that's what I've got right there. So that's pretty straightforward. And so again, to make some changes to texts up here, you can just go through and edit that just like you would a Word editor of any kind. And if you don't change the formatting, it'll retain the formatting. But if we want to change the formatting, just put our cursor in there, switch it to what we like. And again, it'll default back to left justified. And then for this example, we wanted it center justified. So we're going to center, and then we've got that. Now there's a couple other things we can do here as well. If we wanted to change, it's a little bit more detailed, but in the source edit view, if we wanted to change the text color, we could do that. And you'll note that there really isn't any kind of color. Here's our color picker, and none of the colors that are showing up here are actually noted in that color picker. So if we wanted to source edit, we might be able to find out where we can make some changes to that color. And here is one place that we can do that. So I'm going to make a change here. And click OK. We're just going to make a quick change. And I can see that has changed that. Not completely, but at least partially. May not have gotten that correctly, but anyway, that's where that change is going to be made. It's going to be made up here in that source edit. And I'm just going to change that back. And you can see that that color is going to change back. So now we're going to go down and take a look at a couple of different places where you'll find text. So again, we've got a grid component here, and there is a text component put in here. So we can go through and again, if we just wanted to change the text, we can just go through and with a quick double click, go through and make text edits. And we could do that here, but if we actually want to change the text in the formatting, again, we'd have to get the green bounding box, right click and get edit, and then make those changes. There's a CTA component that we can make some adjustments to. We can click edit if we wanted to change the text as it appears within that. Again, we can just go through and open up that component and then make that text change there. So again, that's just another space that we can see where there's text, and we're going to want to make a text edit. And there are actually, in a lot of these components, they are just a combination of a text and an image component in a certain grouping. So here we've got a carousel, and if we wanted to go through and you can see this carousel has 3 slides to it. So if I wanted to edit that first slide or the second slide, I just click through here, pull up the slide I want to edit, click edit, and then I can go through and make a change to this. So I can just say, that wasn't Mark Simmons who said that, that was someone else. And I can just make that change on that particular one. And again, so it's just showing up here as a text component within another component. So if I wanted to add a couple more slides to this, say we want to have 4 slides there on that carousel. So we're going to make that edit and come down here. We'll see, oh, there's 4 slides here. Click on the last one. Then that one is truly open. And then we could do something like drag a text component in here. And let's do that. Oops. And then with that text component, we could add something similar in context right there. Let's just check the formatting on that previous one, and then we can drop in some text and mimic that perfectly. So we've got, it's a paragraph, left justified, center justified, bold paragraph. So that's pretty straightforward. We'll go to that. Right click, edit, and add our comment in here. So we're going to bold that, center justify that, center justify both those, and click OK. And there we go. So the rich text editor, again, it's the tool, the text component shows up in a variety of components as a subcomponent. And getting familiar with the text editor and really just running some exercises is probably the best thing that you can do.